What's up, boys? Today we're trying out this new $20 controller I found on Amazon, and we're gonna compare it to my $200 Xbox Elite controller, and we're just gonna do a few laps. I'm gonna spin about 3 laps on each and kind of give you my feedback. I have about 10 minutes on this controller so far, so I have gotten kind of used to it. Oh my gosh. Okay, and yeah, well, that is one of the biggest issues right there. It doesn't like to go from like right to left, you know, like it's like really slow to do that. It feels like my direct lean is like high but also low at the same time. Another huge drawback on this controller, I think, is it doesn't have paddles. I mean, it is 20 bucks, right? So like I'm pretty sure the intent of this controller is for you to like put it in your backpack and play mobile games while you're on the plane. I think it is compatible with iOS and Android. Obviously the link for it will be down in the description, but what we're here to see is how does it work in bikes. Okay, is it good in bikes, and is it worth upgrading to if you have $20 and this is the only controller that you can buy? Should you buy it for MX bikes if you're playing on keyboard like a psychopath and you got 20 bucks? Or should you save up and get a regular Xbox controller? And then what we want to see is the Xbox Elite worth it over a regular Xbox controller? Oh my gosh. So far, okay. The left stick is not ideal. That is kind of my main takeaway on this. The left stick is just not responsive enough, it feels like. For a game like MX Bikes, it is just really not fluid and not smooth. It is just very odd, to be honest. Like, it feels like I'm turning way more than I should be. Like, I am almost completely turned there, and it was barely making that corner. It just feels off, you know. And then right there, like it's trying to go straight. It feels like the direct lean's really high, and then at the same time it's like really low and the bike wants to drift. I don't think there's any stick drift. I'm trying to see if it's leaning. No, there's no stick drift. Or like maybe it feels like it's got like a really high dead zone or something. The triggers are odd as well. They feel like they have not nearly as much pull to them as my Elite, but they also have this feature, which some of you may like. Oh, okay, hold on. Hey man, if you suck at COD, maybe pick this controller up, man. You got that quick turbo button going on for you. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so there's that. I'm not entirely sure what is happening there. Yeah, but for 20 bucks, you know, I mean, I guess. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think, boys, like I'm gonna be honest. I think if we're in that, you know, in the market for a controller, low key, I think we're not picking this. We're not picking this one up. We're in the market for. Hey, get a controller off of Facebook Marketplace, like a regular Xbox controller or something. You know, I don't know, cause yeah, this thing's tough, boys. I'm having some issues, as you can see. I'm curious to see, am I just having a skill issue day, or when I switch controllers here, is it gonna be kind of, oh my goodness, kind of the yeah, I don't know. I think we're just down horrendous here. I think what we're gonna do for the regular controller is I'm just gonna take the paddles out of my Elite, because that's basically all that it is. Now I do have, you know, the rubber, oh my goodness, on the Elite that gives me a little bit more grippy, but to be honest, I have the Elite V2, and I don't think the rubber on those is nearly as good as the Elite V1, the original Elite. That rubber was really good. Okay, let's see if we can do one lap here without crashing. And then we're gonna switch to my regular Xbox controller. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Yep. Another thing I would recommend, if you guys look at my controller overlay down there in the bottom, you can see that I'm pushing forward, right? On my left stick. If you guys do that, I would highly suggest just being careful of what controller you pick up, because if it has a plastic joystick shaft and you're rubbing up against a plastic like housing, you will wear a hole in it, speaking from experience. Okay, I'm kind of barking now. We're kind of getting the hang of it. It still feels odd, but we're kind of getting the hang of it here. Yeah, I would suggest that to be careful, okay? Because I had the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra Pro or whatever it was, and I wore a hole in the joystick shaft after like a month from pushing forward so much. All right, this was not a terrible lap. Not a terrible lap. You know, no, I was just gonna say it, then I got some weird drift right there. I don't know, boys. I guess if you only have $20, you got 20 bucks for your birthday and you're never getting a dime again, it can work, I guess, right? But it's not ideal. Let's switch to the regular Xbox controller. Before we go on with the video, I want to take a second to talk about Alexander PCs and their new PC configurator. This configurator allows you to dial in every part of your PC to match exactly what you need. My favorite part of this is how safe it makes picking parts. For instance, here, when I pick the 4070 Ti, it allows me to pick from an 850 watt power supply all the way up to a 1200 watt power supply. But when I click on the 4090, it limits me to 1200 watts and up. I just really like how simple and safe it makes the part selection process. And lastly, I just want to say that all of the pricing you see on the website includes shipping insurance, and a lifetime warranty. Make sure you guys use the link down in the description to get an instant $50 off your next purchase with Alexander PC. And a huge shout out to those guys for this amazing computer and supporting the channel. Now, I don't know why I did that, but let's get back to the video. Okay, we're on a regular. This is an Elite V2, but I don't have the paddles in, and I don't use any of the other features that you would find on a Elite V2 other than the paddles. I literally don't use anything. Oh my gosh, the steering is already so much different. So this is where I'm going to use as like my baseline controller. If you should just grab a regular Xbox controller, like a reputable one. One thing I will tell you too, that $20 controller is small. It feels very small in my hand. I do have some man hands, so that could be it. Oh my gosh, I don't have my clutch button bound. But it does feel... Oh, I forgot where I was. It does feel a bit smaller, so if you have big hands, definitely don't suggest that. You know, I mean, to me, the Xbox controller even feels small at times, and I know that it's like absolutely gargantuan. So now, okay, so now what we're trying to see is a regular Xbox controller better than the $20 controller? Immediately, I would say yes, because of the responsiveness of this left stick. The left stick feels way more accurate and like it's doing what I want it to do. The other one seemed like it had a little bit of a mind of its own. I think if you were looking just to play casually, you could probably get away with that $20 controller. You know, and if you're looking for like rapid fire on COD, you know, maybe you jump on that one as well. But this is already feeling just so much more. The triggers too, like the triggers are so much more linear, and I feel like I have so much more control over the triggers versus the other ones. It seemed like it was like 100% or 0%, which is interesting because I don't know, like they seem to have a lot of pull on them, but it just didn't really feel like that. Oh man, that was just me. You know, so the big thing I'm noticing, I obviously am not using paddles right now, so my sit and stand button is bound to my sit and like my R3. That's what my sit and stand button's bound to. And I just really feel like, man, if you guys, this is how you play, paddles would change your life. Like, it is so much more difficult, in my opinion, to lean and kind of do all the things you need to be doing. Also sitting and standing with that, like, I feel like I'm so much less precise when I can just have my paddles in the back. And so, but are paddles worth freaking 150 bucks, really? You know, that's the question. And we'll answer that, or I'll try to do my best to answer that here after this lap. We'll stop and we'll switch to the paddles. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video and like this type of content, make sure you hit the like and hit that subscribe button as well. It helps me out a lot. We are on our way to like 30K right now, so. All right, so that was kind of a decent lap. Let's switch to the paddles now. I'm gonna put these in. All right, so we're here in my settings. Sit is right here. You guys can't see it, but we're gonna put that on D-pad down, which is what my paddle's bound to. All right, let's see. Let's do a few laps here and see how this is gonna work now. So now we're on that $150 controller or $200 controller. And is this worth it over, I mean, immediately, yes, it's worth it over the, you know, $20 controller, but is it really worth the money over a regular Xbox controller? I feel like I have so much more control over the bike with not having to worry about clicking in either one of my sticks. I can just focus on steering and leaning at the same time. Oh, dude, I do that I'm glad that I've done that on all three controllers though, so you guys don't feel like I'm throwing. I feel like I can focus on steering and leaning at the same time, and like especially like scrubbing too. I feel like my scrubs are way more consistent because I'm not clicking in the stick I'm trying to lean to scrub. And I feel like, man, like if you're playing without paddles, I feel like you're really holding yourself back a little bit. Okay, we gotta triple that. This track is really good too, by the way. I forget who makes it, but it'll be down in the description. And whoever made it, thank you. I love you. It barks. All right. Yeah, like these sections feel so much easier when I can just, like, it's just not even having to think about it, you know? Like you just, the paddles, I know you have to kind of adjust your grip style too, and a lot of people don't like that. Like you kind of have to like not hold the back of the controller, but I think it's way easier to get used to, and I think in the long run it's absolutely worth. Again, this is if you're playing like trying to play competitively, or or I should have sat there, but we're still on a pretty decent lap. I mean, I gotta make sure I beat this lap time. Or I guess we got to see. I guess I don't have to, but. All right, I remembered where I was. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like there's no way I'm saving that on the $20 controller. There might not be a way I'm saving that without the paddles either, because sometimes in those situations you do a little like sit stand action, and if you're not leaning like perfectly, you will crash. So kind of barking here. Perfect spot to land. Nice, 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 nice. All right. I was trying to jump that, but I need to be outside. Click up to fourth here. I also run my clutch on a paddle as well. I know a lot of people don't run their clutch. I think that that's another thing that I would tell people, like, if you're not using your clutch, I think that you're kind of at a disadvantage. There's a lot of times when, you know, you kind of have to let off, or you feel like you got to let off, and if you have a clutch, you don't. All right, so that lap was about a full second faster. I definitely can go faster than that, so let's see if we can do that here. This will be our last lap. We're gonna put this to the test here. Try to push the limits of this controller a little bit. Terrible corner entry for me, but still was able to get through that. Didn't scrub that, so we got over. Yeah, this is gonna be good here. Able to kind of just drag the brakes through there. All right, we're a second up again on that time. Oh, a little short. That's all right. Try not to wash the front end there. Big scrub. Oh my. We go wide here. I forget where this is. Oh, this is this jump. Yeah, this is good. We're gonna jump that. There you go. Now almost 2 seconds up. Over 2 seconds up on that time. Oh, okay. Gonna miss that inside, but I think we'll go outside and then we'll cut back inside here. Sit there. Nice. Dude, this track rips. Such an underrated track. All right. Nice, nice, nice. And I think, you know, you could also put your shifting on the paddles in the back, and that would help you a lot too. So that was a 2.5 seconds faster. So that was about 3.5 seconds faster than the regular Xbox controller. Now, I'm fully aware that a lot of that could be, well, I'm used to paddles and some people are not used to it. But I really think that there's something to be said about just not having to click in your sticks while you're trying to scrub and stuff. That would really help you. You could just focus on just leaning and steering while you're, you know, while you're playing, and you don't have to focus about sitting and standing and leaning on steering on the same input. A little interesting, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Personally, if you got some money and you can't afford a regular Xbox controller, I would honestly just say save, because you want something that's going to be more, like, I guess, consistent and trustworthy. And if you're looking to upgrade from a regular Xbox controller to an Elite and you're trying to figure out if it's worth it in MX bikes, I would say 10 times out of 10, yeah, that it's definitely worth. I love mine. Now, the Elite itself has some reliability issues at times. I play a lot, obviously, because I play every day, pretty much like for work. So I might run through mine pretty quick, but I will tell you that the left bumper and the right bumper go out fairly often. In 6,000 hours, I think this is my 3rd or 4th Elite. So kind of do the math there. But most people, you know, most people aren't going to be playing 6,000 hours. So maybe it'll be worth for you. All right, boys, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one, all right?